Hey guys, how are you doing? So today we're going to do a patch rundown note of the patch 11.21. We'll see what are the champions that are the best in this meta, what are the best champions for you to play in solo queue and also in competitive. We'll see if the champions that are getting buffs, they are playable and they are really good, and we'll see if the champions that are getting nerfs, if they are still playable as well. So this patch is actually coming with a big change on the all chat. So they are trying to actually disable all chat. I'm really looking forward to see how is that really going to affect the game. It's really hard to say if it's a positive impact or if it has a negative impact. We would have to see it. They actually just try it out as well. So they will probably just do like 1 or 2 weeks test it, and then they're going to go from there. My opinion on that, I think that players, so people that I coach a lot, they know that I do recommend to actually just mute all and focus on the gameplay. You don't really need to have any interaction with the chat. I mean, unless it's Challenger. In Challenger, you can type to people like different strategies, and everyone has to be on the same page, so communication is needed there. But unless that's the case, I think that mute all. And remember, you want to enable the pings as well, because if you do enable the pings, then obviously you can be more into the game and you don't want to be to tunnel vision just trying to mute everyone, right? Just mute the chat and make sure you just focus on your gameplay. I don't think this change is going to really impact that much, since people are still going to be able to flame. But again, if you guys play with like mute all, it shouldn't really affect you at all. So we'll see how this is going to change. My opinion on that is that it's a little thing. It's the right step in the right direction, but it's not something huge that is going to prevent people from flaming. So let's go into the big thing right now in the champions action. So this champion was actually sitting on 52% win rate. He was pretty decent. I think that he can be played by people that really play him really well. I don't recommend him in like bronze, silver, gold, unless you really want to play action and one more champion. Let's say your champion pool has to be action particularly, and then one more, then you can play him. Otherwise, I wouldn't really recommend him for lower reloads. So right now, base damage per shot. So they are nerfing her Z. So this is actually quite smart. You can't really nerf his Q, you can't really nerf his W. His ultimate is, I mean, the dynamic of the ultimate is very counterplayable, so I don't think they should nerf the ulti. The E is really good nerf. They actually get the base damage per shot from 30 to 110% to 30 and 90. This is actually pretty decent. I mean, it's pretty big for sure, but I don't think he's going to really, this nerf is going to really prevent people that are only playing action to play him. It's definitely something big. I think that his win rate is going to drop from 52 to probably 50.5, something like that. I don't think players that are really good on him, they are not really going to care about this nerf too much. It's definitely a big one, but again, you shouldn't replay action unless you really like him and you want to OTP him. So let's go to the next one, Graves. So E bonus armor decrease. The bonus armor per strike from 6 to 18 to 4 to 16. Okay, so this is actually pretty interesting. So Graves is played in, especially in high MMR. In low MMR, Graves is decent. I mean, gold plus. If you're like silver or bronze, I don't think you should play Graves that much. There are other champions that you can really play, like Kha'Zix, for example, or really just playing some Warwick. Graves, this nerf is definitely going to affect him a lot in terms of competitive, because there any stack and any armor stack is really going to affect him. I don't think he's going to get affected too much in like Diamond, Platinum, or those helos. In Challenger, it's definitely something, but it's definitely not going to prevent people from picking him. He is a pretty good champ. He runs Shield Bow, he goes Collector. He's quite tanky, no matter what. I don't think this nerf is really that big. Graves is still playable. He's still going to be picked with Xin Zhao, with Jarvan, with all of the champions that are in the meta right now. So you guys, if you play Graves, you still play Graves. You can still play Graves. He's still fine. Just a little bit of a nerf on the armor, but again, it doesn't really matter all that much. Jinx, passive attack speed increased, E range increased, R cooldown decreased. So I really love Jinx. She's very fun as an AD carry. So I'm a big fan of this champion. I think that people should play her a lot more in no matter what elo. Bronze, she's really good. Silver, really good. Gold as well. Platinum, even diamond, she's very good. If you know how to play safe, she's very rewarding. She also has a good laning phase. So let's see what they do to her. So the passive get excited, total attack damage 15% to 25%. This is actually pretty decent. It's 10% total attack speed. It's not really a huge deal because she goes for boots, attack speed boots, which is 35% attack speed, and then also in addition of that she goes little tempo, which means she has a lot of attack speed. Anyways, it's a little thing. I don't think she's going to affect that much. So let's see the EE Flame Chompers, 25 range. This is a little bit placebo to me. It's definitely going to affect her, because when you're playing with Nautilus and when you're playing with a Thresh, when you're playing with a Leona, it's really really, really important for you to have the ability to E forward and to put your E from the max distance. So 25 range is actually not that bad. I really like this change. It's not going to change anything if you play with enchanters, if you play with Lulu, if you play with Janna. But with Thresh, when he hooks, again, as you might know, you need to wait the hook and then you put the champers and then the Thresh needs to flay into your champer. So the 25%, the 25 range is really going to be pretty decent. Not a huge lot, but it's going to definitely help her out. Air Super Mega Dead Rocket, so 90 seconds to 60 seconds, so 75 to 55. This is actually pretty decent, especially because you want to play really aggressive on Jinx with an engaged support. I think that all of those changes, they are pretty relevant if you play her with Janna, Lulu, Nami. She's still going to be the same thing. She's decent, but if you play her with an engaged support and if you really know what you're doing and if you really play her well, she can be good. So I really recommend you guys Jinx. She's very good for carrying. Again, she got buffed hard with an engaged support. Okay. Karthus. So Karthus E-mana restore reduce early and scales more with ranked. So definitely this is what they're trying to do to get him out of bot lane. So some people might know that he was actually being picked in high elo, in Challenger and Grandmaster. A lot of players, they play Karthus Janna, they play just Karthus bot lane. They try to push the waves just all over, like they try to carry the game, pushing the waves, get resources. I think that 20 from 40 and then 15 from 55. So this is definitely a nerf on bot lane. I think that people that play him on bot lane would still play him on bot lane, even though he's weaker inside of the early game. What they could be doing, they could actually go for 2 points in E and then just max Q. Yeah, I think that he's a lot weaker right now in the early game, on bot lane specifically. But what they are trying to do right now, they're going to try to put Karthus in the jungle, which is, in my opinion, pretty good. I mean, I don't want to see him on bot lane, to be honest, when I play bot lane. And then mid lane, he's very volatile. He's really weak against long range champs. So definitely a fine nerf. Totally agree. He's a decent champion right now. He's playable. Again, if you're gold plus, you should definitely play Karthus. You should definitely main him if he's pretty decent inside of the jungle. Right now, again, I wouldn't really recommend him on lane after those nerfs. So let's go to the Lux. Lux right here. Base attack speed per level increase, passive mark duration adjust, E damage increased, R cooldown decreased. So the attack damage per level, the attack speed per level, what is that? So attack speed per level, so from 1% to 2%, this is all completely useless. This is completely useless. What they are trying to do, they're trying to make the auto be faster, so you can actually proc the passive a lot faster. So this is decent on mid lane and on support, but it's so subtle. It's so like it's really, really placebo. It's not really going to make any difference. It's not really feelable. Let's see. So passive illumination mark extended if Lux basic attack is already in flight to the target. This is actually pretty decent. It's actually pretty decent right now, especially in higher MMRs where people know how to abuse the auto attack and people know how to really play around her passes. So I really think that it's okay, like what they try to do. Let's actually see the E. So the E from 60 to 200 damage to 70 to 270 damage. Wait, she gets 70 damage for E, and in addition of that, she gets 5% AP. I think that the 5% AP is irrelevant if you're talking about Lux support, because on Lux support you don't really get too much access to AP and just getting AP. So definitely it's a buff for mid lane Lux. And then on support, I still recommend her. So if you do want to play support and if you do want to carry on support, obviously playing AP bot lane is super, super good. So if you play, let's say, Lulu or Janna or Nami on bot lane, you're going to have big issues in bronze, silver, or gold to carry. So definitely Lux, Brand, those champions are going to help you so much to carry because they can carry by themselves. So if you want to play super Lux, she's fine. But again, those buffs are better on mid lane Lux for sure. Let's see the ulti as well. So they are trying to buff the cooldown, so it's 80 to 40 to 60 to 40. This is actually so good. So 20 seconds, this is so big because if you're going to hit your ultimate and actually kill people, the ultimate cooldown is going to get reduced anyways. So this is actually pretty good buffs. I really like this. Definitely, if you like Lux, you should play her. She's good right now. Mid lane, also support players can play her. Obviously, you need at least 30 games to be decent on Lux and to be able to carry effectively. But definitely a bigger buff for mid lane here. Miss Fortune, base mana reduce. Okay, God bless. This champion was super annoying. She was first pick. She was so good. So they're trying to nerf the mana. Yeah, she was picked in Words as well, in solo queue. She was really, really good. I'm a big fan on MF. She is going to get nerfed on the mana, which is very, very smart by Riot because she was very strong because of her ability to use the E aggressively with the Comet. Just building Eclipse, building Yomus. She was unstoppable on the lane phase. No one could have outplayed her. So when people played Ashe was really strong because of her W. She got nerfed on her W because, again, it was like kind of a point and click poke. Same thing goes with MF. She has the E, it's kind of point and click E. Like, I mean, you can't really miss the E unless you're inting or unless you're first timing MF. So definitely the mana nerf is there. The E is going to cost around 80 mana inside of the level 4. So definitely this is going to affect her a little bit. She's still going to be playable. She's still going to be okay. And then the mana cost of the W, ooh, this is huge. This is huge because the thing is, if you have played MF, you'll notice that if you play aggressive with your E's and you just get kills on the lane phase, or you want to push out the wave, you need that W, you need that passive. So the mana, the 30 from 30 to 50, 45, this is actually a big thing. I actually don't mind the mana nerf. You can play around it. You can use E more often when you have mana flow band, and just in super high MMR, you can just walk up and not even use the E. So what Challenger players do with MF, they actually just walk up, they don't use the E, and the enemy AD carry backs off anyways because he knows that MF might actually use the E, but she doesn't do it. So this mana is not really going to affect really, really good players, but this is definitely big. Should you really play MF in silver, gold, platinum, diamond, silver, like iron? Yes, she's really, really good in all of those elos. She's really good in high elo. I do recommend you, if you are an AD carry, if you want to carry your games, MF is super good, super good. I do recommend her. She's easy, she can carry, she's good with every support, she has good skirmishes. Again, she has disadvantages as well. She's not really good against tanks, but I do recommend you MF for sure. So this is definitely a nerf. She's still playable, but it's a big nerf for Challenger and Diamond 1, Diamond 2, Diamond 3 elo. Okay, Queen, so W bonus attack speed decreased late. Okay, so let's see what they're going to really try to do. So from 20 to 80 to 20 to 60. Well, this is just a nerf. I don't really know why they're nerfing her. I mean, she has a decent win rate, but only people that are really, really good on her, they play it. Like people that are OTP. I haven't seen like a players that play bruisers or play normal top laners to play Queen just because she's good in this meta. I think that this is just a nerf that is going to affect OTPs, players that play only Queen. Again, I don't really recommend her for solo queue, for low elo. She is pretty good, but you need to have a good AD carry mechanics in order for you to not miss clicks and not really just screw up mechanically. So overall, this is again a nerf for OTPs, for people that play her. She's still playable, so if you like Queen, you should definitely play her in solo queue in any elo but Diamond 1 plus. Like Master Tier Challenger, she's completely useless. People respect her, and she doesn't have a good laning phase because people know how to play against her in super high elo. Again, in any low elo, you should definitely play Queen if you like her. Good Sion, W shield increased, so shield is going to be from 60 to 12. Oh wait, so 60 to 100 plus 40 AP to 60 to 160 to plus 40 AP. Okay, so this is interesting. This is interesting, but then they are nerfing the percentage of maxing health. This is actually quite good. 2% of max health is not bad. Is it going to be playable in solo queue? Well, in solo queue, I don't really recommend it. They are trying to really buff the tank Sion, not the lethality one, how people really play it. I do think that he's going to be more playable inside of the top lane. I don't think you should ever pick Sion if you play solo queue and you want to carry your games. Definitely in competitive, if your top laner needs the tank, Sion is the play. You also have Cho'Gath right there. Sion is really, really good and really, really reliable. He has a very good engage. In super low elo, again, if you play Clash, if you guys play those kind of competitive games, definitely he's a good champ. He's a tank, but again, for solo queue, I don't really recommend you. If you want to play top lane and you want to carry, I don't recommend the Sion. For competitive, definitely Sion is good. Master Tier Challenger, he is a fine pick, especially in competitive. He has disadvantages, but he's a really reliable tank that he can play safe, and he has a decent lane phase as well. Okay, Teemo, Q cooldown decrease, blind duration increase, missile speed increase. Ooh, this is actually so huge. They are trying to, oh my god, this is for low elo. This is just Christmas. This is just so cooldown from 8 to 7 seconds. This is a little one. This is going to affect him still because you're maxing the Q. This is the first ability that you're maxing. But then blind duration from 1.5 seconds to 2.5 seconds, and then 2 seconds to 3. What? This is huge. Huge, huge. Play Teemo. Play Teemo. Play Teemo. Silver, bronze, iron. Play Teemo. Just OTP Teemo. Like, even in Platinum, he works. If you're more than Platinum 1, I don't think you should play Teemo unless you really want to play only Teemo. But again, until Platinum 5, he's so broken. Missile speed, this is also really good because you're going to actually end up using the Q a lot faster in matchups where it's really going to matter if you're going to use the Q really, really fast. He's so good. So please play him. Please, this is going to be so annoying. I think he's going to be banned away a lot in super low elo. I actually think maybe I'm crazy, but I think he's going to get picked even in higher elo or in competitive. Like this is huge. Like 0.5 seconds on his blind, and then in late game 3 seconds, this is just huge. And he already has a good laning phase. If you remember, guys, like 1 year ago, I saw him on bot lane in Korea in competitive. So in LCK, I saw him on bot lane. So I really think that he's going to be big. This is actually just for low elo. It's so huge. So definitely his win rate is going to go up with at least 2%. With at least 2%. So he is so good. He's so good. Okay, Viego. Q damage ratio increased. Double self slow decreased. R crit ratio increased. So they're trying to make him a little bit stronger. I mean, he got hit really, really hard a few patches ago. Right now, AD ratio 60 to 70. So this is fine. This is fine. They're trying to make him a little bit more AD. So this is definitely a good thing. You're going to go for shield bow or divine build also is good. Kraken Slayer is an option as well. They're trying to make him Kraken Slayer builder because they're trying to really get the critical chance on him. I think he's going to be better, but again, he's not really going to be played in super high elo. I think that those buffs are not really enough. If you guys like Viego and if you guys play jungle in solo queue, he's better for sure. He's good. So he got buffed on the Kraken build, and he's also decent right now with the divine build and shield bow. So you should play him definitely. He's not the best champion duo right now. Those buffs are fine, but they're uncomparable with the nerfs. So definitely he's playable right now, but in super high elo, I don't think he's going to get picked away. He has too many problems, and there are too many junglers that are going to do better than what he does. Okay, Xayah. Okay, so let's see. Base movement speed increased, Q cooldown decreased late game. So after so many buffs, they buffing Xayah again and again and again. So she became so good. Her win rate actually have gone up. Like if you just look like 5 months ago, her win rate was like 48 or 49 right now. She's actually going to have a really good win rate because she got buffed like patches and patches and patches in a row. So let's see, movement speed 325 to 330. This is pretty good. So 5 movement speed is actually not that bad. It's not that bad. It's little, sure, it's little, but it's not that bad because she has problems until level 6. If you play against Leona, if you play against Thresh, if you play against Nautilus, you are in trouble. Like you have a few issues playing against those champions because you don't really have your ultimate and she's relatively immobile. So definitely the 5 movement speed is decent. Is it going to really make the difference between you getting hooked or not getting hooked? Well, we'll see. It depends on the elo. I think that in super high elo, it's going to make the difference. In super low elo, it's not really going to be a huge lot, but it's definitely a buff that I really like the movement speed because she has problems against engaged support. And then Q cooldown from 10 to 6 to 10 to 4. This is really useless, really. I mean, in the early game, it was fine because what you can do in the early game is that, so if they would buff, let's say, the first rank right here, it would have been fine, just because with Xayah, what you want to do is that you want to queue the enemies, proc the little tempo, and then just push for level 2 and for level 3. So if they try to buff the first rank, it's fine, but I mean, 0.5 seconds at second rank is like useless. Plus, first of all, you're not really maxing the Q, so you're maxing the E, so you're going to get this value at level 7, level 8, so it's really not good. It's really placebo right here. The movement speed is also pretty placebo. She's playable. They are trying to make Xayah more playable. She's actually good, guys. So if you guys are really into the Xayah and you want to play, again, only Xayah, she's not an easy champion because if you want to play her, you need to know her combos and you need to be pretty good at like knowing your Q auto, E combo, pretty good at hitting your root. So if you guys want to have Xayah as a main champion in your pool, you can definitely do that if you're gold. Also, she works fine in silver. I wouldn't really recommend her for bronze for sure, but definitely she's good right now. She's in a good state. You should play her, master tier challenger, and then diamond 100% play Xayah. You guys are already good, so play Xayah, you know the combos. Again, I wouldn't recommend her for bronze. She's definitely in a good state. I would say she's top 5 AD carries at the moment. Okay, items, Gourd Drinker. So I really liked this change. Gourd Drinker was so broken. Gourd Drinker, Sterox, like those items, everyone builds those. And Bruisers are so OP. Bot lane wasn't really in a good state for a long time, so I really like this Gourd Drinker change. So let's see. So let's see what they're trying to do on the Thirsting Slash. They're trying to do so 100% total AD. So okay, this is good. It's to 175% base AD. New Omnivamp. Gourd Drinker no grants 8% Omnivamp. So, okay, so this is quite good. So they're trying to give it the item Omnivamp, okay, and they're trying to really get the passive. So health regeneration, Gourd Drinker no longer grants 150% health regen. Okay, this is definitely huge. No longer grants 0 to 15% based on amazing health of your AD as bonus AD. Well, this is a big hit for sure. I really like what they're trying to do. They're trying to really they're trying to really calibrate the item a little bit, so it's not really going to go, so it's going to go from OP to like still playable. So definitely I like this, I like this, I like this as a bot lane main, as a mid lane main. I really love this. I mean, fuck God Drink really. If you're playing top lane, it's still a good item for sure, but definitely this is a nerf. This is a nerf on the passive. Let's see what they're going to go on the Ornn item again. Like, let's see. So this is 13%. This is actually pretty decent. Again, it's not really going to affect too much the state of the game. It's just 5% really right here. So I think that the God Drinker calibration is better. He's good. I don't think it's going to be that OP anymore. So I really, really like those changes. We'll see how they are going to influence it. Okay, and then adjusting the whip as well. This item is so OP. Junglers buy it a lot. Top laners buy it a lot. It's 1100 gold as well. So it's relatively cheap. Not really that cheap, but relatively cheap. I definitely think that's all. Let's see, 75 total damage too. So this is really good. This is really good, especially in the jungle. You play Zinzao, you play Jarvan, you play Darius top lane, you play things with God Drinker. Definitely Iron Whip. This 25%. So it's basically from total AD to base AD. Okay. Interesting, interesting. So there I'm trying to adjust like this to match God Drinker reduce offensive capabilities. Okay, so this is definitely, this is going to affect a lot of the champions. So from total AD to base AD. So this is definitely big. I would have to see the numbers, but I think that this is a big nerf for jungles and for top laners that buy God Drinker or that buy Iron Spike Whip for sure. So this is definitely something that it's going to reduce your power in the early game. This is actually pretty sad that they do this. Obviously, they try to do the ratios a little bit. So they try to calibrate the ratios so you don't really lose too much AD, but you're still going to lose, I think you're going to lose around 12, 10 AD, something like that, which is basically a longsword. So I think this nerf is pretty big. Okay, Strikebreaker. So you're trying to adjust the Strikebreaker active to match the damage changes to God Drinker and Iron Spike Whip, but it's also getting on AD boost to compensate since it doesn't need a nerf right now. So they're trying to give 5 AD. I mean, this is fine. This is fine. And Halting Slash, it's 100%. Total AD to 175. Yeah, so the same thing they do here as well. This is fine. This is fine. They're trying to really adjust the. This is okay. So he's going to still be playable. If you play Darius, if you play like champs with Strikebreaker, Garen, it's still a good item. Okay, Conqueror. So we're seeing a broad range of champions pick Conqueror even in situations that don't match its purpose, extended, all-ins. We're holding in on that identity and giving it a nerf. So adaptive force per stack 2 to 5 based on level to 2.4 based on level. Okay, if you play Aurelia, if you play Darius, if you play Jax, definitely this is, ooh, this is huge. So buff duration 6 to 4. This is huge. This is just 2 seconds. This is actually so huge. This is so huge. But you know what? I like it. I like it because top laners they are pretty good, in a pretty good state right now in later stages. Like if you play against Jax in late game, like you're not really going to have a fun time really. If you play Illaoi in later stages, you're not going to have a fun time. So if you play Xin Zhao, like if you play against those champions that go for Conqueror, Irelia as well, like you're not going to have a fun time. So this is a little bit too much. What I will do, so I like this. I like this, but this one, I think it's so much. I think 2 seconds, this is going to be a big nerf on any Conqueror use it, like a big one. I would just put 6.25 actually. So if you put 6 seconds and you just do 5 seconds right here, that would have been better. I think that again, just doing it, either you do 4 seconds right here, but you don't do this one, or you just do 5 seconds right here and that's all. So Guardian has been overperforming the Super Bowl and crowding out other keystones, so we're tuning it down. So from 70 to 80 to 150 based on level plus 15 Guardians HP to 50 to 130 based on level plus 15% Guardians AP and 9% Guardians bonus health. Okay, so this is actually, I mean, Guardians is fine in the sense that in the later stages is better. Like back then, Guardians was a lot better when it was proccing, like literally when you get hit by someone. In very low elo, that usage was a lot better. Because this one, like right now, what they're trying to do with the new Guardians and the reason why they actually changed it, they changed it because in Challenger, it's so easy to actually play around Guardians. Like again, back then when the last Guardians, the previous Guardians wasn't really reworked. But at the moment, the things are right now, Guardians is pretty bad inside of the laney phase and is really good inside of the later stages if you play Lulu or if you play champions that really want to go get Guardians. I think that this is a big hit. 22 like max rank and right now 50, this is definitely a big hit. I really think that the Guardians users on Super Troll, they're going to go and run Irie a lot more often, so we're talking about Lulu, we're talking about Zillion as well, so Guardians is not really going to be, even right now, like even before those nerfs, Zillion and like support didn't usually go for Guardians, but right now it's going to go even worse. I mean, on support role, it's a huge nerf. On other roles, so for example, if you play Ivern and you want to go Guardians, definitely same thing. Just go Irie. I don't think this rune is going to be playable right now. If you play Thresh, I mean, this champion, like, just if you play Thresh with Guardians and then with W Max, he got so many nerfs on her W. He got so many nerfs on his, like, he got so many nerfs on everything. Really, Thresh is really unplayable right now with Guardians as well. So I really don't like this change. They are nerfing too many champions with this, and enchanters are still not good. They're trying to really, so I would do this, but then I would just put like a buff on the Irie, so I can basically just try to put the Irie up on the support wall, and then Guardians, I mean, it's just on a few champions, good, so on enchanters and on like Ivern jungle. So I don't really like this. This is too big. I think Guardians is unplayable right now. Okay, health shard. Okay, so bonus health. They're trying to really buff this rune, so from 15 to 90 to 15 and 440. So this rune was so useless, I gotta be honest. No one was using this rune. It's so useless if you play solo queue, and even in competitive, just getting the extra armor, just getting the extra magic resist is so much better. It's going to help you so much more if you want to win your game, because laning phase, first 15 minutes, guys, if you play in any elo, even in super high elo, like first 15 minutes is going to decide your game. Like, do you want to get some health that is going to help you in 40 minutes or 30 minutes mark? We're not going to get there. So getting the armor and magic resist was better. So this was the thought process before the nerfs, before the buffs. But right now, 140 health. This is actually huge. This is actually huge. So if you play, I wouldn't recommend it for silver, gold, platinum, iron, because in those heroes you want to play aggressive and you want to win your laning phase, and it's really important to get armor and magic resist. But for challenger players that are looking to get this rune, this is actually pretty OP. If you guys are playing like a safe champion and you just want to chill in the laning phase, so definitely this is a huge buff in the later stages. Again, I wouldn't recommend you if you're platinum or below platinum. Armor is so much better, magic resist is so much better based on your matchup. But I really love this. This is super good. Okay, Ingenious Hunter. So let's see what they're trying to really do with the item. Base item haste 10 to 20. Okay, that's actually nice. So item haste per stack 5 to 6, and then max item haste at full stacks 35 to 50. I really like this. So definitely champions with Predator are going to benefit from this. Gene, Gale Force users are going to benefit from this. Everfrost usage are going to benefit from this. I mean, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. I really like this. I think that what you can do on things like Gene, when you go for Dark Harvest, you can just run Ingenious Hunter, especially because, okay, so they're actually nerfing the Ravenous Hunter as well. So this is really good. So on champions that really benefit from, like, again, Gale Force, Predator, and all of those things, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. So I really like those changes. And they nerf Ravenous Hunter as well. So I really like this change. It's definitely a good rune right now. I really like this balance. And then Ravenous Hunter, they try to, I mean, they start nerfing it over and over and over again because it's so broken, let's be honest. Like, you play it on AD carry, play it on junglers, you play it on everything, really. So Omnivamp per stack 1.5 to 1.2, and then max Omnivamp at full stacks from 7.5 to 6%. I mean, this 1.5%, I don't think it's really a huge lot, to be honest with you, but it's definitely a hit. I think that the rune is really, like, it remains the same. The ability, the fact that you can actually use abilities and just get health is like really broken on champions, like on any champion that really needs healing. On mages, for sure, it's pretty decent item as well. So I think that it's still playable. It's a hit. It's a hit that is going to make Ingenious Hunter better, but again, you can still play with Ravenous Hunter without problems. So this was basically the patch review. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like this kind of content. Please, if you like it, please leave a like and just try to subscribe if possible. This helps me to maintain and put content on my YouTube channel and really motivate myself to really continue this. So thank you so much, and I hope this was the video that helped you.